Local Legends is presented by Aaron Consulting. This is where high school sports shine. Real voices, real football, real stories. This is Local Legends. As the old saying goes, better late than never. Our episode of Local Legends is here a couple days later than normal, but that's all right. Coach, how about before we get into high school football, let's just talk about your weekend, because man, you got to go see Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss on the Grove. Got a nice win over Florida. How was the trip?
Well, first of all, yes. So this is 100% my fault that this thing is not earlier. But having the opportunity to go to Ole Miss was, I mean, I've been to a lot of college football games. I've been to Michigan State. I've been to Ohio State. I've been to Notre Dame. I've been to Clemson. I've been to South Carolina. I've been to Georgia, Penn State. You know, the list goes on and on and on. Whatever. I've been to the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl. This was the best atmosphere I have ever been to in my life. And if anyone gets an opportunity to go to an Ole Miss game, I think you should do it, even if they're not that good. So as I was studying the history of Ole Miss, I mean, they've got this legendary tailgating area called the Grove that is like literally in a grove of trees. And it is like tent, and everybody is as nice as advertised. Not just some people are nice. Everybody's nice. Everybody's nice. So we walk around, you know, you can have food wherever you're at any of those places. And I mean, that was truly unbelievable. And then they did the walk, right? They did the walk through the Grove, the players did. And, you know, I felt like I was a rock star because I got to hang out with Trinidad's dad, Trent Chambliss. And so anywhere you go, I'd be like, hey, it's Trinidad's dad. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, we love Trinidad here, Trinidad. And everyone's waving the little Trinidad and Tobago flags and Trinidad for Heisman. And you know, they do the walk, and who leads the walk? It's Lane Kiffin's dog leads the walk. A couple kids are taking it. And then here comes Lane Kiffin. And who's Lane Kiffin with? Theo Vaughn. So it's him and Theo Vaughn. And Theo Vaughn's wearing a Detroit Tigers hat. I'm like, let's go, man. So I felt like it was our time. So it was really cool. And I thought the atmosphere was truly unbelievable. I mean, so it was like 68,000 people. But what I thought was amazing. So when you go to a typical college football game, you see the students have like coordinated chants, right? Like you go to Michigan State game, great student section. Michigan's has always just been okay in my books. But I think Michigan State's got a great student section, especially when they're really good. And you see the students do whatever chants there are. I don't really follow them like that. But at Ole Miss, everybody in the crowd does the chant. So someone will say, Ole Miss, are you ready? And then the whole crowd would be like, holy cow, hotty toddy, whatever. And they do this whole, I mean, it was the whole thing. And like every single cheer during the game, the whole crowd did it. It was like everybody was a student, which obviously they're not. I mean, it was awesome. And then, you know, the icing on the cake was, you know, get an opportunity to see Trinidad lead them to victory against the Florida Gators. So, yeah, it was really cool. We didn't get back to late Sunday, but it was great. Got to see him. Got to see a bunch of people from Grand Rapids were there. Coach Eddie Ostapo from Forest Hills Northern was there. Former coach Dave Sukup from Forest Hills Northern was there. You know, ran into a good buddy of mine, Steve Calhoun, who's a quarterback trainer out in California. So it was truly a great trip. So if anybody gets the opportunity to go to the Grove in Ole Miss in Oxford, Mississippi, you got to do it. So that was me.
So how's Trinidad doing? Is he enjoying this as much as we all think he is in this amazing experience?
He is enjoying it. And this is what I appreciate about Lane Kiffin, because I will say this on the record, I was not a huge Lane Kiffin fan as he was going through the, you know, I'm the coach at Tennessee, and then like 6 months later, I'm the coach at USC, and I'm getting fired from Alabama the day before the national championship game or whatever. I'm at FAU kind of. This is what I appreciate about Lane Kiffin. They run the same offense every single week. Everything that you see Trinidad do on TV, it's like, oh, well, we saw him do it in the game. And Charlie Weiss Jr., the Charlie Weiss, former Notre Dame coach, his son is the offensive coordinator. I don't know. I mean, I would assume he's calling plays. Maybe Lane Kiffin helps call some plays. But, like, they keep it very – and I hate to use the word simple, but, like, they keep it very consistent. And so Trinidad, I mean, you can just tell everyone's like, well, he was only been here for 3 weeks before the season or whatever it is, 3 months, whatever. But like he grasped the offense because you can tell they've slowly built this thing throughout the year. And it hasn't been like, all of a sudden when I watch Michigan football right now, I see like Bryce Underwood trying to do like everything under the sun. And I think that's why I think he's struggling a little bit because they make him try to do everything under the sun. Whereas Trinidad, man, quick passing game, get him out, some very easy RPOs. He does a really good job hitting his checkdowns, all that stuff. And Trinidad, when you talk to him, man, he's the same he was in high school, man. Just got like $1 million smile on his face, man. And he just walks around like, you know what, man, I'm having a great time enjoying it. And I'll tell you what, the people of Mississippi love Trinidad Chambliss.
As they should. That's awesome. And they're in such a sweet spot right now too, because they're 10-1 and they have a bye. And then they go to Stark Vegas on the day after Thanksgiving. And Mississippi State's 5-5, I think. So Ole Miss can be a heavy favorite there. And they probably won't play in the SEC championship, which is exactly what you want. You don't, do you want to win an SEC championship? No. Make sure you get to the playoff, right? Basically, you beat Mississippi State. You're in the college football playoff. You don't have to play the SEC championship game. It's kind of perfect.
And you're probably hosting a first round game. So like, it's not, do you want to have an SEC championship? Yeah. I think that would be great. But do you know the author Wright Thompson at all?
Oh, yeah.
ESPN guy. Yeah. He lives in Oxford. I was like kind of keeping my eye open. Yeah. So he lives in Oxford, Mississippi, but he was talking on a podcast or radio. I don't know. And he was just like, you know what? We have never won, or it's been a long time since Ole Miss has won an SEC championship. But because of the way the college football playoffs are right now, and this guy's like a true, tried and true Ole Miss fan now, even though he went to Missouri as an undergrad. But like, he's like, it's not important at all because we want to get a home playoff game. And we want to continue on this with this crowd. And here's the funny thing about these, SEC championship game, Big Ten championship game. If someone were to get upset, the lower of the version gets upset, has an upset in the game, the top tier team might not get a home playoff game. So it's like Ole Miss is like, they got to get through Mississippi State though, because if you look at the history of the Egg Bowl, crazy things happen. And Art Briles is going to be on the sideline of the Egg Bowl because he helps out Mississippi State from afar, and he's a heck of a coach. I think that's his son-in-law is the head coach there. So like, I think they've got good stuff. They upset your team, Arizona State, early in the season. Yeah. That was tough, man. And man, this Lane Kiffin stuff. Like, is he going to LSU? Is he going to Florida? Does it happen before that game? I think I would highly doubt it. But like, again, it's Lane Kiffin. Nobody knows what Lane Kiffin's thinking.
Well, maybe Charlie Weiss Jr. and Trinidad Chambliss do it without him. Maybe they just take him. So what happens if they play Notre Dame in the playoff? Who are you going to root for?
Trinidad. I'm rooting for Trinidad. Yeah, I have to. And it's that's hilarious because Trinidad's favorite team growing up was Notre Dame. He loves Notre Dame more than anything, right? Except Ole Miss now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say this, for as well as Trinidad Chambliss is doing, who do you think is going to be the hottest quarterback in the market this year in college football?
Portal?
Yeah.
Well, it could be. Austin Simmons. Is that what you're saying?
It could be Austin Simmons. Although I heard down there that he's a better baseball player, and that maybe he plays baseball. He's the closer for Ole Miss. Do you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Like there was some talk of like maybe this is good for him. Then it's like pure focus on baseball, right? So I thought that too. But like maybe it's the quarterback from Ferris State currently right now. What? Who's got better numbers than Trinidad this time last year? Somebody's going to take a chance on him.
Wyatt Bauer. Yeah.
They've got to, right?
You're right. Yeah. Why not?
Well, why not? Let's say what if you're
Michigan State?
Yes. Why not?
Well, we're going to get into high school football. Would you rather Wyatt Bauer as quarterback next year or Cade Kaufman? Like, what are the chances Michigan State just goes, here you go, Cade Kaufman. You're our guy, true freshman.
I think that's tough. I think it's tough. Because you look at Bryce Underwood, he was so heralded, right? And I do think Bryce Underwood has a really nice roster at Michigan. Like, don't get me wrong. But you know, if you were to say right now, would you rather have Trinidad Chambliss or Bryce Underwood? Probably Trinidad, right?
Yeah, probably.
So, like, I don't know, Wyatt
But
Bauer, Cade Kaufman.
is that to win a game tomorrow, or like because like Bryce Underwood's going to keep getting better? Trinidad's running out of eligibility.
Correct. So I think I think this is the best part. I think Trinidad has done enough to where he's probably the third best quarterback in a poor quarterback draft class.
And my Miami Dolphins keep winning games, so the farther back they go in the draft, the more likely they're going to get them. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I don't know who their coach is going to be, but that would be awesome. I'd love to
Lane
see
Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin with the Dolphins. That would be hilarious. I could see that. Actually, yes, I think that's a great call. Lane Kiffin to Miami, the Dolphins.
Well, Mike McDaniel might be saving his job. What if the Dolphins sneak in the playoffs? I'm not crazy enough to think that's going to happen, but they've won 3 out of the last 4.
Well, there you go. There
All
you
right.
go.
Let's get to some high school football. Don't forget this podcast, The Local Legends, is presented by Aaron Consulting. Since 2020, Aaron Consulting has helped to support high school programs, coaches, and families navigate the turbulent waters of the college athletic recruiting process. With over 20 years in the recruiting space, Aaron Consulting is expertly positioned to provide guidance on the best practice to ensure coaches are educated and families know what to do and when. Contact getaaron.com today to schedule a free consultation or by scanning the QR code on the screen to discuss how Aaron can support you this school year. Use code LOCALLEGENDS at checkout for a 10% discount on your Aaron membership. That's code LOCALLEGENDS. We'll get you a 10% discount. All right, so the regional finals were Friday and Saturday. Certainly some interesting storylines. I suppose we should start in Division One with East Kentwood and Hudsonville.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was kind of the game of the year in the regular season with Hudsonville throwing a touchdown pass in the final play of the game off a deflection to win by a point. No such drama this time. It was 28-14 Hudsonville at one point in the second quarter. It was 28-21 Hudsonville at the half. But East Kentwood ends up scoring 38 unanswered points. They don't give any points after halftime, and they run away 52-20. I mean, that's impressive what East Kentwood did.
Yeah, and I think you were telling me the stat, but just how good East Kentwood played on defense. And no one has defended Hudsonville well this year at all, right? Like nobody has said, I'm stopping them. And to hold them to 0 in the second half, got to give a shout out to Alex Smith and his defensive crew over there at Kentwood to shut them out like that. And you said something like that their only scores in the first half were like, or not their only, but one of them was from a block punt.
Yeah, they had 4 touchdowns in the first half, but 2 of them were on very short fields. One was a block punt, and I can't remember what set up the other one, if it was a turnover or something, but 2 of their 4 touchdown drives were short fields. And so, yeah, I mean, East Kentwood defensively, really, really good.
Yeah, it's a tall task because if you look at Hudsonville's offensive line, I mean, they just look good from tight end to tight end or tackle to tackle, however you want to look at it. And I just thought that they looked bigger than East Kentwood. But, man, East Kentwood schematically was just lights out against the Hudsonville offense, just lights out. And, I mean, like you said, 2 close teams, or excuse me, a game with 2 close teams. And, it's a very small margin of victory in the first game. Your theory worked out well on this one, right? East Kentwood won. Did you pick them?
Did get this one. Yeah, I picked East Kentwood.
Yes, let's go. You got them. But think about the job that Ty Spencer has done. Talk about what has Ty Spencer done in year 2? Because you're big in year 2, right? In year 2?
Well, I mean, their senior class had struggled at the lower levels. And so you bring in a quarterback, and Cade Kaufman, of course, wasn't there. Went to South Christian through his sophomore year. So he comes in last year. Ty Spencer in year 2. Everything get a little more comfortable, kind of know the expectation. And, boy, it's been impressive. And I want to talk about Cade Kaufman because, he looks good. Like, we always knew he was good, right? Like, you don't get Michigan State offer. You don't get Ole Miss offer. You don't get Colorado offer without being really good. But, like, he's not just like serviceable running the ball. He ran for over 200 yards that win over Hudsonville. And if you watch it, he looked like a running quarterback. Impressive. He goes through this 273 in the air, 210 on the ground against Hudsonville.
I know. And I shouldn't say nobody, but Hudsonville plays unbelievable defense. But just seeing Cade Kaufman in the summertime, I had the opportunity to see him he just looked like a pure thrower, the kid with the quick release, like, wow, this kid can throw the football. Didn't really necessarily think he was a runner like that. But actually, while I was in Mississippi, I was getting video updates of the game from their assistant superintendent, Bray Bartels, who we worked together at West Ottawa. He's like, "Watch this touchdown run," and I'm sitting there looking at him on my phone, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's Cade Kaufman," and he looks like a running back doing that. And I just think that that's going to bode well for him at the next level. And if they have any chance of beating Detroit Catholic Central, or should we call them Novi Catholic Central because they're located in Novi, like to beat Catholic Central, I think you're gonna have to see a steady dose of Cade Kaufman's feet and the arm of Cade Kaufman, right? It's got to be both. It's got to be a little bit of both. But to see him evolve like that, man, I wouldn't be surprised. And again, the early signing day is coming up here soon. But with what we've seen at Michigan State in recent weeks was just some bad losses, in my opinion. I mean, I think Penn State's got a really good roster, but obviously they're imploding. I thought that was a really bad loss to Michigan State. I would be shocked if he ends up with the green and white of Jonathan. If Jonathan Smith is not the head football coach at the end of the season.
Well, what if he could play early? Couldn't he?
He could play early, but I think he's got to make sure that he's in a right situation, right? Because does Nick Marsh stay if Jonathan Smith is not there?
I don't know.
I mean, because I think, arguably Nick Marsh might be the most talented wide receiver in the Big Ten. He's really good, man. Right?
He is. He's very good and underutilized, in my opinion. But is Michigan State going to make a head coaching change? I mean, think about it. Where are you going to fit? Where's the Michigan State job fit if it's open on this carousel of coaches? When you think about all the jobs that are open,
I think you call Brian Kelly, and I think it's his. And I think Brian Kelly takes it. And because I think Brian Kelly is, obviously he's negotiating the buyout with LSU right now, but I think Brian Kelly is a ball coach. I just don't see Brian Kelly being like, hey, I took my $53 million and now what am I going to do? What's he going to do? Go travel in Europe and go see the world? Do you see Brian Kelly wanting to do that? Brian Kelly wants to coach football and win and compete for a national championship. And I think he knows right now, I mean, just even what Ole Miss has done, that if you get the right pieces, there's no reason why Michigan State can't win a national championship. All you got to do is get in the playoffs. Look what's happened at Indiana. Brian Kelly could be the answer that Michigan State is looking for, quite honestly, because they need a dynamic guy. I don't know if I've ever seen a less dynamic coach than Jonathan Smith in my entire life. I mean, maybe you have. I mean, literally, you feel like as a high school football coach, is he connecting with the high school football coaches? I mean, nothing against him. I'm sure he's a great guy. But if Brian Kelly walked into East Lansing tomorrow, you don't think they're going to be a Big Ten contender the following year?
Okay, so if you're Brian Kelly, would you rather go to Michigan State or would you rather go to UCLA, Florida, or Penn State?
If I'm Brian Kelly, I mean, first of all, I don't think Florida's going to hire him.
If they don't get Lane Kiffin, they wouldn't hire him?
Maybe they do, actually. I think UCLA. I do think that there's an issue with the UCLA, USC in the Big Ten. I think it's really kind of costing them, the big time status. I do feel like they're playing second fiddle. Whereas though when they did have the Pac-12, those night games between USC and Oregon felt like they meant something. Now it doesn't even really feel like they mean anything. So I think those jobs have actually kind of decreased a little bit in my mind, just because I feel like they're playing second fiddle to everybody in the Eastern Standard Time or Central Time, because I think that's who everybody's watching right now. I think that's where the kids want to be honest with you. So it'd be really hard to turn down Florida. I do think he'd be really good at Arkansas as well, but selfishly, I want to see Brian Kelly back in the Midwest, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And if you have Cade Kaufman at quarterback, Brian Kelly can win with freshman quarterbacks.
Yeah, but you just said Cade Kaufman was going to go somewhere else.
No, right? Unless they get Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly keeps him in there. All right, let's get back.
Really good, Cade Kaufman. Hats off to you.
So, what kind of change? Detroit Catholic Central really put it on Clarkson. I was surprised. I thought this was going to be a game, and I'm surprised Catholic Central won. Thought it'd be closer. So it just, what chance do you give East Kentwood against Detroit Catholic Central at Jackson High School on Saturday?
Well, again, it's got to be Cade Kaufman's legs, right? It's got to be Cade Kaufman's arms. It's got to be the receiver. What's his name? Mighty. Everyone calls him Mighty.
Mighty, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's been a guy who's been literally uncoverable, right? And so like that's where you feel like that can keep them in the game. And then again, I don't think you can sleep on Alex Smith's defense at Kentwood. I know Catholic Central's got everything going for them, right? The Gash brothers and the quarterback and the tight end who's going wherever. But like if they can slow them down, maybe a trick play early to get a quick early lead, something like that. I mean, if they can slow them down and make Catholic Central drive the field, I think the game plan for East Kentwood's got to be pretty simple. Like, I think you got to be able to score early. And how do you score early? You got to have a good trick play in your bag. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to take some shots against a Catholic Central secondary that you feel like maybe you can beat them at some point in time. You got to run the ball with Cade Kaufman. And then on defense, you got to make Catholic Central have 10, 12 play drives. And like maybe they come away empty-handed. So, I mean, that's, obviously Catholic Central is going to be big favorites in that game. But, I mean, yeah, I think anytime you get to the semifinals, you got a chance to win it.
And they're going to need number 51, James Jones Jr., who was absolutely a man against Hudsonville. They're going to need another performance like that out of him because he really dominated from his nose tackle position for that East Kentwood defense. A big reason why the East Kentwood defense was so good. That was impressive by James Jones Jr. for sure. So we're kind of, can East Kentwood ruin the party? Because everyone thinks it's Cass Tech Catholic Central. Everybody's counting on that at Ford Field for the D1 title game because you and I have been really high on Rochester Adams, and they put it on Romeo in the semifinal. But they're a pretty big underdog against Cass Tech, yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then Cass Tech, look at what they just did to Saline. And you saw what Saline's quarterback just did. He flipped his commitment from Bowling Green down to Michigan. Right?
It was Miami of Ohio. That's quite a flip.
Miami of Ohio, yeah. I mean, that's quite a flip there, right? So now he's going to Michigan. So that kid's legit. I don't think anybody's like, although I do feel like sometimes you see how well CJ Carr has been doing at Notre Dame. And then you feel like, well, so we've got an opportunity. Tommy Carr's legacy at Michigan, whatever. I mean, I think it's a great move. I think it's a perfect spot for him. But Cass Tech, all over him. A really good Saline team. I mean, it's going to be tough to see anybody else other than Cass Tech and Catholic Central. And I think that one's going to be tough to call because I think that's going to be a heck of a game. But
yeah, it'd be a heck of
a game. They got to get there first.
It'd be an entertaining way to close down Ford Field on Sunday night if it happened for sure. Division 2, how about Orchard Lake St. Mary Portage Central going to play at Hazlitt on Saturday? Portage Central was down most of the game to Traverse City Central. I guess this should be a good sign for the Mustangs, right? Because they had trailed all year, and they trailed most of the game to Traverse City Central, which I think shocked everybody, and they found a way to win. That's not easy when you haven't trailed all year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've been playing ahead the entire year. I think they had a dominating performance against Byron Center, which like maybe it was like too much of like we finally beat Byron Center type of feeling. And maybe sleeping a little bit on Traverse City Central, and Eric Sugar's doing just a great job coaching that squad right there. But Traverse City Central was a 5-4 team in the regular season. And, they won the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, but gave them a great game. Now I think this, so Orchard Lake St. Mary's, obviously they've got the blue chip prospects, but like the thing is, so does Portage Central. They've got blue chippers all over the field. And I think that Portage Central can play keep away from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And I'm not saying Orchard Lake St. Mary's is just like a one play drive type of team. Cause obviously in the state championship game last year, they got under center and pounded the ball to beat Byron Center. So they've shown that they can play that type of football, or at least in my eyes, they can play that type of football. And Jermaine Gonzalez at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, he's smart enough to know that that's what Portage Central is going to do. But I'm telling you, man, I know they've got blue chippers. Portage Central does too. And I would be shocked. I mean, they're going to say like, hey, we're going to make the quarterback beat us, right? I mean, they're going to close down hard on the dive. They're going to make sure there's somebody on the pitch. And they're going to make, I forget what's his name, Rylan
McNally.
Yeah, McNally. Say, hey, try to beat us with your feet. But man, I like Portage Central because I think they play good defense. I think they've got enough athletes to win that football game. So I mean, if I was picking the game, I'd pick Portage Central.
Yeah, we're opposites on this one. I have St. Mary's, but this is exactly works in PC's favor because I've been doubting them all year, and they've just continued to prove me wrong. So at this point, let's just ride it into the sunset with another win that I don't think they can get because it'll probably happen. But yeah, I got St. Mary's. How about the other side? Dexter Groves.
Love that matchup. Love that matchup, right? So Dexter, I've mentioned Phil Jacobs here a number of times. They've got some really good. Their quarterback, shorter kid, super dynamic, great release. They've got a blue chip tight end, I believe. I forget where he's going, but he's a really good football player. And then they've got this other receiver. I actually had the opportunity to talk to a coach from Birmingham Groves today, who I've known for many, many years on the east side of the state, and he was like, "Man, they've got a receiver who's just as dynamic as anybody that we've played." So it's a true spread offense. They never get under center. Everything's kind of pitch the ball around, RPO style football. And then you got Birmingham Groves, old school I formation. They run the true stretch outside zone, like the old school play that Barry Sanders used to run. They run counter, and they run power, and they run a play action pass off of each one. So they're truly old school. And Groves has done nothing over the past 10 years other than just win. And they've won. They got over the hurdle last year a little bit with a win in the regional finals against De La Salle. And then they came up short against Orchard Lake St. Mary's. They went for 2 at the beginning of overtime, kind of a head scratcher a little bit. And they lost, so they're just short of going to Ford Field. Man, I don't know, man. I feel like they're a little bit of a team of destiny. I hate to hate on my boy Phil Jacobs over there at Dexter, but like I feel like Birmingham Groves is like that team of destiny on the other side of the bracket. Like I think that they can put it all together and get to the finals.
Wouldn't that be fitting the year after Noah Sanders heads off to Toledo? And so Barry Sanders' son is no longer there if Groves got over the hump and got to Ford Field. Now, we're opposite on this one, too, because I have Dexter. I mean, their only losses to Saline. They've been so impressive to me. Yep. I thought, the year that Forest Hill Central won the title, Forest Hill Central beat them in the semifinal. I kind of thought that was Dexter's year. And, man, you got to give credit to the Rangers that season, beating them in the semifinal in the snowstorm.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Dexter gets there. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. All right, Division 3 might be our most fun to talk about because our buddy Dan Roan is living, man. 6-6, 6-6. Everybody, people are mad because De La Salle got in the playoffs at 3-6. I mean, this is what they do. And they beat King. They got to play DeWitt.
And King was like they're the closest team to beating Cass Tech, right? I mean, like. They played not once, but yeah, except for Randall, pre Terry, post Terry, yeah. So I mean, okay, so King, very good football team, and De La Salle not only beat him, they beat him soundly, right? I don't know if they ever even trailed during the game, but man, I mean, what Dan Roan has done there is incredible. Now, with that being said, a matchup against DeWitt, who's been putting up, I feel like 70 every week. DeWitt has certainly not played the schedule that De La Salle has. And De La Salle's defense is, I feel like they're getting better and better and better. And it's a young team, but by now, I mean, you're in week 13 of the season. Like, I mean, that young team is now grown up. And so, man, it's going to be hard to pick against De La Salle in that game. Who you got?
Yeah, I got De La Salle. I mean, this is the Jason Hutton special because I am all about strength of schedule. And you talk about impressive. I mean, there's not been a more impressive, and we can throw Graham Catholic Central in there. Mm-hmm. Okay, Graham Catholic Central has been better because they've won more state titles. But DeWitt, what they've done the last 10 years, 15 years, I mean, it's incredible. Double-digit wins every year, state semifinals almost every year. I mean, Rob Zimmerman is as good a coach as you're going to have. It's an unbelievable program, and they're really good. I'm sure they're really good, but they just haven't played anybody that I rank a top 50 as part of a media group. They haven't played a single team I've considered for my top 50 all year. Not one.
That's tough. It's tough. Yeah. It's going to, like I said, I think it's hard to pick against De La Salle. And I think it's hard to pick against Dan Roan in the semifinals, honestly, right? Think about what Dan Roan is in.
Well, just what you have to remember is like, I would hold that against Mount Pleasant and I would hold that against Portage Central. And those two have just been proving me wrong. So I'm sure DeWitt will just follow suit, but I got De La Salle.
I'm going De La Salle as well.
And so the other side, Mount Pleasant, Lowell. So I was hoping for a Lowell East Grand Rapids State semifinal game, and Lowell did its part. East Grand Rapids did not. Mount Pleasant, they're 12-0. I mean, they're really impressive, and I think it finally caught up to East Grand Rapids a little bit. They just offensively, they scored 14, but couldn't get it done in a 28-14 loss. And how about this Lowell Zeeland West game? I mean, this game was back and forth and back and forth, and Lowell's playing without some dudes. Now I know everybody's playing with injuries this time of year, and man, they got it done 36-34. What's ironic about this game, Ash, is they both scored 5 touchdowns, right? And
Mhm.
Lowell was 1 for 1 on 2-point conversions and 4 for 4 on kicking extra points. Zeeland West was 2 for 5. 2 for 5 on 2-point conversions. And they actually, what's really unfortunate, and you hate to see this, there was a dropped pass on a 2-point conversion when Zeeland West went ahead 34-29. If they catch that, they'd have 36-29. So when Lowell scored, it would have tied it. But anyway, ultimately, Zeeland West goes for 2. That's what they do. And they ended up losing the game because of 2-point conversions.
Yeah. I mean, and so if you're Lowell, I mean, you got to think to yourself, okay, am I going to, knowing that they always go for 2, do I have a great Rolodex of 2-point plays that I feel really good about? Or do you just kick it and you just say, I'm not going to chase points till I actually need to chase points? And I think that's a predicament that you get when you go against some of these really good T teams that go for 2 all the time like that. So I feel like you got to like have a Rolodex of plays, but at the same time, man, you got, or you got to say, you know what, I'm going to kick it until I'm chasing the points. And they did that, man. And credit to Coach Hennedy, man, got it done, and didn't have to chase the points like that. So, and I think that's tough to do as a head coach.
Well, it's awesome for Lowell because they haven't been in the state semifinals since Noel Dean was roaming the sidelines. It's been, I'd have to look it up to be sure. It's been about 10 years.
16, I think, or
Maybe
14.
9. Yeah, is in that ballpark somewhere. Obviously, that's a football school, and the Lowell people love football. So this is awesome. I love to see it. What do you think of the matchup in Mount Pleasant?
I think you got to go with the local team, Lowell, man. I mean, I just think, I mean, just what they've done going through the playoffs. I do think Mount Pleasant is a tough matchup. Obviously, they were a team that moved the ball in the East Grand Rapids defense, and very few teams have moved the ball in the East Grand Rapids defense, and they did, right? I mean, they were able to run the ball against a team that you felt like you just couldn't even run the ball against. So they're formidable, but man, I got to go with the local team, man. I'm going with Coach Hennedy and the Red Arrows. I like them. I feel like get the quarterback loose, put some pressure on Mount Pleasant early, and let's go Arrows. Red Arrows.
Yep. So Logan Dawson won the Channel 13 Player of the Year. He's been amazing, and he's a perfect Lowell quarterback and very deserving of that award. Kate Kaufman was one of the finalists of that award. Owen Ostapo was the finalist. I was really surprised Brady Van Lake wasn't a finalist. I know that's a tough job trying to whittle it down to 5 or whatever they went with. London Hampton and Keontae Gibson were the other 2. I thought Brady Van Lake would have been a finalist. I thought Justin Phoebus maybe for Union Christian. We'll get to Union Christian in a minute. Would have been a finalist. But yeah, I mean, Logan Dawson certainly deserving. He's had an unbelievable year. I do have Mount Pleasant. I'm picking Mount Pleasant this game, and this will just keep it going. I've been picking against Lowell all year, so I'll do this just to help Lowell because I'll be wrong. So, all right. So Division 4, I was able to see Unity Christian up close and personal. I tell you what, I really thought the Big Rapids game was going to be a really good game. Big Rapids was really good, and Unity Christian just came out on fire and just dominated from the start, 22-0, really early in that game, and then they win 52-14. And that's super impressive. And so they're taking on Vicksburg, and Vicksburg went to another 5-4 team making a run here. And I do like this. I like this playoff system, and tough schedules get you in, and you can be 5-4 and get hot. I do like that stuff. But Vicksburg goes to Portland and wins. And can we just kind of go through this play at the end? That was kind of a back and forth game. Portland out to a lead. Vicksburg comes back, takes the lead. Portland goes back up 2 scores at 41-29. So to set the stage for this play here, 41-36 is the score. Portland has the lead. Vicksburg has the ball in the final minute, no timeouts. And we're going to bring this up here, and we're going to play it. So Vicksburg's got the ball, and down and distance don't really matter here. There's only a couple plays left in the game. So Easton Moten, their quarterback, who's really good, I want to talk to you about him, throws this little complete pass to the out, right? And they get him down inbounds. You can see the official waving his arm, right? But the kid doesn't know what to do with the ball. He's trying to find somebody. Who do I give the ball to, right? Well, the time's running down. They need to run a play. So he throws it. It hits the official right in the head.
It's the official in the head.
He doesn't know what to do with the ball, so he throws it. Boom. Official wasn't looking. Hits him in the head. Eventually, the white hat, the referee, comes in, and he stops the clock. Okay? So now that's an advantage for Vicksburg. They didn't have any timeouts. It was chaos. They need to get a playoff. The clock is now stopped. They can set up. They can look to the sidelines, get their play. Now, they would have had time to spike it, right? But here, 9 seconds. They snap the ball. Clock runs out. Great catch. Touchdown. Vicksburg walks off with the win.
It's hard to describe what just happened right there. I mean, I just think like, on the initial throw to the out, one would have thought that receiver was going to get out of bounds, right? I mean, it felt like he kind of turned back inside. I mean, I think in any 2-minute drill, you're teaching your guys to make you catch, tuck, turn, get to the outside, just get out of bounds. An extra 2 or 3 yards at that part of the field doesn't really matter. And I think every good coach practices the 2-minute drill at least once per week, and just kind of go through those semantics. It might not be live against a good defense, but like, catch, get the ball out of bounds. If you've got to fire it, you fire it. But if you get caught in bounds, what you have to do as a receiver is you run the football back to the hash, to the nearest official, hand it to him. Or, I mean, if he's looking at you, you can toss it to him and make sure it's that guy who's at the hash. So then he can spot the ball. Therefore, you can then spike it. Now, this kid just took the ball and he hits the ref in the head. And you could look, the official looked a little dazed too, like, whoa, like, what just happened here? And then the white hat's like, I got to take care of my guy. Like, I got to make sure he's okay. So they stop the clock. And what does that do? Just allows Vicksburg to get the right call in. Obviously, again, like you said, they could have spiked the ball. They had time to spike the ball. But there's no need to spike the ball because you want to take more shots to the end zone. And that was another chance to take a shot right there. And so they got the right play in, hit a vertical over the middle, and got in the end zone.
So do you coach that? Do you coach your kids what to do with the football in that situation? No timeouts, have to get a stop, run the ball in the middle of the field and set it down?
Yes. 1000%. Yes. I mean,
What happens is they end up getting rewarded for hitting the official with the ball. I mean, not there. I don't believe there was any intent for that. That's not what I'm saying. But ultimately, that's what happened.
Right. And I mean, quite honestly, it probably cost Portland the game. I mean, just that situation. Because it's hard. I think it gets a little chaotic when you have to spike the ball like that. It's like everyone's running around like, oh, spike. It gets a little chaotic. But yeah, I mean, you have to coach those situations in the game. Either you're getting out of bounds and then you can just throw the ball to the official. Or if you're in bounds, you got to get the football to the official on the hash, the near hash.
Well, and what's the right decision by the official? Should the official have stopped the game like he did? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got to take, because just looking at that, it looked like that official did look a little bit dazed, just a little bit, like kind of like, ooh. And so the white hat's got to make sure that the official's okay. And it looks like that's what he did.
What would have happened in a college game or an NFL game in that situation? Right? Like, isn't there a 10-second runoff?
Yeah. I think there would
have been a timeout.
Correct. I think
they would have ended the game.
Or I don't think they would have. I just think they would have let the official go down. I don't know. I just feel like they'd maybe rehearse that a little bit more.
Tough. That's a tough deal.
Tough one. But Vicksburg, what about Vicksburg getting through?
You played Vicksburg.
Sure did.
I like that quarterback. Easton Moten, Moughton. Moten, I'm going to go with because it looks like Houghton.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. 6'3", accurate, strong arm. He's a junior. His top 2 receivers are juniors.
Mm-hmm.
They got a running back that they play a little bit that's a junior. I really like this Vicksburg team, and now they get Unity Christian. So you got the spread of Vicksburg against the wing T of Unity Christian. I think Unity Christian's a favorite. I'm going to pick Unity Christian, but nothing's going to surprise me at this point. I didn't think they'd go to Portland to win.
Yeah. And they did. I mean, they're doing a heck of a job. That quarterback is good. And I think you asked, like, how good is he? And I think it's hard to project, like, is he a Division II guy or not? I would 10 years ago, without the transfer portal, 1,000%, he's a Division II guy. Or at least that's what he appears to be anyway. But now with the transfer portal, I feel like the Division II teams only take like 1 or 2 high school kids. Back in the day, Brian Kelly, not to bring him up all the time, but Brian Kelly would take 7 quarterbacks a class. And you know who still does? Tony Anise still takes like 5 or 6 or 7 quarterbacks, because a lot of times those are the best athletes at some of these smaller schools. Not saying Vicksburg is a small school by any stretch of the imagination, but like, if you take a quarterback, it's way easier to take a quarterback and move him to another position than it is to say, hey, wide receiver, go and play, what other position, right? Maybe a quarterback can go and play wide receiver, maybe grow to be a tight end like Landon Grove did in college. Maybe grow to be, I don't know, an H-back, fullback or whatever, or be a DB or a linebacker. I mean, that's what quarterbacks can do, as opposed to, wide receivers, like that's like their only place to play for the most part. Maybe switch them to DB, but yeah, I got a stupid question.
Yeah. is being in Vicksburg, is he under recruited because he's like southeast of Kalamazoo? Like, is it Western or nobody just because of his location, or is that not working in 2025?
I think in 2025 with the era of like just having huddle and then like all of these recruiting services and then all of these camps in the summertime, like I don't think you're hiding anywhere unless maybe you're playing small 8-man football somewhere and you're not doing that stuff.
So Unity Vicksburg, that'll be a fun game. Brett Bakita is going to call that one with Tim Swore on 96-1 the game at Caledonia High School on Saturday. The other half of that district, that's the one. If you would have told me at the start of the playoffs you could only pick one team to get to Ford Field, what team do you have the most confidence in?
Harper Woods.
Harper Woods. No, without hesitating.
I think everybody would have said that in every single outlet. I mean, they were that good during the regular season.
And so I tweeted shocker in D4, right? And I get it. Some Divine Child people are like, if you do this Divine Child team, you wouldn't think it's a shocker. Like, who's been higher on Divine Child than us? Like,
we've been giving them love and like maybe state top 10 type deal.
Yeah, I think Divine Child's great, but I thought Harper Woods was arguably the best team in the state, regardless of division. So that's why it's a shocker.
I think it is a shocker, but man, credit to the, what the Detroit Free Press has coined the Italian mafia of Dearborn Divine Child, right? And so if you do know the history of Dearborn, on the west side of Dearborn, it was a huge Italian community, and maybe that's why they did it. But these Viti brothers and cousins and Giancarlo, and if you look at some of the names at Divine Child, definitely does have some Italian influence there. But they don't lack talent by any stretch of the imagination, right? like what Marcelo Viti, I think, is going to Iowa, tailback safety. I mean, he's good. The other Viti, the younger Viti, I forget where he's going. And I feel like maybe they have one more. And their quarterback got knocked out of this game when I was watching. Quarterback got knocked out of the game. They had to put Marcelo Viti in at quarterback, and they just ran a bunch of Wildcat stuff with him. They started out and they came out in the flat T against Harper Woods, trying to like hold the ball. They didn't score in it, but like that's what they tried to do.
That's the game plan, right? Don't let Harper Woods have the football.
Correct. And they did it. And so like, don't get pass happy, even on 3rd and 6 or whatever. Just hold the ball, run the clock, hold the ball, run the clock, hold the ball, run the clock. And that's how they did it. Because Divine Child's been a spread team all year. And now they're going to play Goodrich, who's a double type power I formation team who's going to try to ram the ball down your throat. Man, I got to feel like right now, I mean, and I know Goodrich is probably the favorite, and they've done a really nice job all year long. But man, I can't pick against Divine Child, man. I cannot pick against Divine Child. So if you ever find yourself in Dearborn and you've heard of this Italian mafia saying, there is an unbelievable deli called the Dearborn Italian Bakery. And if you get a pepperoni roll from there, it is like the best thing on earth. So I got to go with Divine Child on that one. So if you ever find it, go to Dearborn, look up the Dearborn Italian Bakery. Unbelievable.
Pepperoni roll, second only to the Wildcat Burger.
There you go.
By the way, Lorenzo Viti plays at Hope right now.
Yes, the oldest brother.
Yeah. They're all brothers.
Yes, I think there's 3 boys and a couple cousins or so. I have to brush up on my Divine Child.
I've had Divine Child ranked ahead of Goodrich all year, and I definitely will have them ranked ahead after they beat Harper Woods. But for something's just telling me that Goodrich is going to win this game, and I don't know why. It's the ultimate letdown, right? I mean, it's the ultimate letdown. West Catholic didn't have any problems. You called it. You said they wouldn't have any problems letting down after the Catholic Central game, and they won 27-0 over Hackett or Kalamazoo United, the combined of Hackett and Kalamazoo Christian. Really impressive defensive performance from West Catholic. And so they get Ogama Heights. I was surprised the Ogama Heights Swan Valley game wasn't closer. I actually thought Swan Valley would win that game, but Ogama Heights dominated. So I don't know much about Ogama Heights since Andrew Prattley left there before he came to Holland a dozen years ago. But the Jack Pine Conference is being represented, but we like West Catholic in this matchup.
I don't even think it's close. I think this is honestly next to the potential Cass Tech Catholic Central matchup in Division I. I think the West Catholic Notre Dame Prep matchup in Division V, I think it's going to be worth the price of admission, in my opinion.
So we like Notre Dame Prep over the Fighting Mark Cisco's. How about Monroe Jefferson? I think they were 1-8 last year. They're 11-1 in the state semifinals. And of course, Mark Cisco, who's the head coach of Byron Center, played there for his dad. His dad, legendary coach. They won a state championship with his dad, coaching there in the 90s.
I think they beat East Grand Rapids in that game, if I
They
recall.
did. Yeah. That was a George Barczewski team. So
Yes.
it's been a great story from Monroe Jefferson, but it's going to be an all-Catholic D5 final, we think. But
Yep.
we thought Harper Woods was going to win.
And Notre Dame Prep is really, really good. So I think that's gonna be a great football game. I mean, I might have to go to that football game. It's gonna be that good. I'm serious. The Divine Child West Catholic matchup, I think it's gonna be worth the price. I mean, I guess they'll be showing them on TV, so maybe we can watch
Notre Dame West Catholic. Yeah. So a D6, I'm gonna call Kingsley and Kent City at Cadillac on Saturday. Wing T against Wing T, and you've got Kingsley, 2-time state champion, won a state championship in 2023, just 2 years ago. You got Tim War, the head coach there, 31 seasons, 223 wins. Every year they make runs, and then you got little old Kent City, never won a district in school history before this year. Does that matter?
I don't think it matters, but I just think Kingsley is going to be tough to stop, man. I feel like they get, again, they're a tight T team, which Kent City's a tight T team, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And so like 2 T teams against each other, it's going to be who comes up with the nice wrinkle, right? Because I think both defenses will be ready for it. And so it's always, to me, it's always fascinating to watch T teams play against each other. Like I remember those really good Cedar Springs versus Zeeland West matchups, or the Unity Christian versus Zeeland West matchups. It's just interesting to watch what these T teams do. Like they're going to change just something slightly to throw off the reads or something like that. Man, I just feel like it's going to be hard to go against Tim War, man. Just think he's got some mojo, although I love the story of Kent City. So, but I got Kingsley in that one.
I got a wrinkle for you. How about a 6'3", 230-pound quarterback that's committed to Grand Valley? Only one team has that.
Well, hopefully they run him the ball every single play then.
Give me Andre Meade and the Kent City Eagles. I got Kent City continuing this story. I will say that Kent City's defense is really why they're here. I mean, and Meade's their leading tackler at defensive end. He's going to play DN at Grand Valley. So that now they got to face. They see it every day, right? They see the Wing T every day. So it's going to be fascinating. I think it's going to be a great football game. I really do.
Where's the game being played?
Cadillac. So right, if you've ever been to Cadillac's got that beautiful new stadium right off Lake Cadillac.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Great. And they moved it up to noon, by the way.
Nice.
So Kingsley's volleyball team is really good. By the time this airs, they'll have already played their quarterfinal against Traverse City St. Francis, who they'd already beaten in the regular season. So they moved that up with anticipation that Kingsley would be playing volleyball in Battle Creek. So it would allow their fans to see the state semifinal football game, then drive to Battle Creek to see the volleyball team play.
I love that stuff.
It's a noon start. It's a noon start at CAC. It just means I got to get up a little earlier to drive to CAC, but that's all good. I'm used to getting up early anyway. All right, the other half of that, Almont and Lumen Christi, is this? I mean, Almont's obviously a really good program, but like, I think of all the games this weekend, I'm most confident in Lumen Christi.
I think so too. I mean, Lumen Christi is just that good. I know they had a loss against Grand Rapids Catholic Central, but man, Lumen Christi is just so efficient on offense and defense. I think Lumen Christi.
They also lost to Notre Dame Prep.
They did.
Lumen Christi has 3 losses, but it's Notre Dame Prep, it's Grand Rapids Catholic Central, and it's
Divine Child, I think.
No, they beat Divine Child. No, they lost to Divine Child.
Yeah, so Notre Dame Prep, Divine Child, and Catholic Central.
I have that wrong. No, because they lost to Illinois. Remember they lost to that Motini Catholic.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely had that wrong. Maybe they beat Notre Dame. Maybe they beat Notre Dame Prep. Sorry. They must have beat Notre Dame Prep.
They did beat Notre Dame Prep, I think. Ooh.
Yes, 54-34. Sorry.
54.
I had that wrong. Yeah, you're right. They lost to Divine Child, Divine Child Catholic Central, and the Motini Catholic. Okay, sorry about that. But they beat Notre Dame Prep. So that's D6. D7, I think this is the best 2 teams in the state, and they're meeting in the semifinal, which I get it. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens in the district final. Pewamo Westphalia Menominee at Gaylord.
Got to be one of the best games of the week. I'm serious. I mean, Pewamo Westphalia, all that town does, all those 2 towns do, the combination, all that school does is win in every single sport that they ever play, right? I mean, that's what they do. And then Menominee, man, watching them in the state finals, was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was last year. Just like how good they've evolved that single wing to throw the ball a little bit more. And they've got a big old quarterback who can throw it, who can run it. Really like that. I just love that matchup. got to go with PW because I picked him to win it all.
Okay, I wanted to do this, and I know Portland got beat by Vicksburg, but think about this. The town of Portland has Portland High School with a little over 600 students. I just looked that up. They have 611 students. And then you've got Portland St. Pat's, who's playing for the 8-man state title. They are 12-0. So Portland went 11-1. They were undefeated. They lost to Vicksburg. And so you combine those two schools, and you got about 700 kids. And then if you throw Palm West Valley in there, which is very, very close to Portland, they got about another 250, 300 kids. So you're about 1,000 kids with those three schools who right now are combined 34-1. Wouldn't you love to see those three combine and play D3?
You know what's hilarious is like, not hilarious, but like in the South, like there's so many less schools in some of these states, like in South Carolina or Mississippi or whatever, and they play like county schools. Like it's like, you know, whatever, such and such county, Calhoun County, South Carolina. It's like the county school that draws from all these little small towns. And everybody comes in, and that's how they get those bigger enrollments there. And obviously, you know, having a big enrollment is kind of key to the academics of any school, right? Because you can't have a bunch of course offerings if you don't have a ton of kids, right? And so that's their, you know, reason. And then you have probably better athletic programs because you have a ton of kids. So, but I get it. I mean, most of these towns in Michigan, they, you know, have an identity that revolves around the school. But that would be awesome to see those schools all together.
Well, I'll tell you who'd be the quarterback, and that's Ty Thalen. I got PW winning the game and winning the state championship. Ty Thalen's a dude, man. Like, I got the Pirates. Other half, shocker. Yeah. The other half of D7, Clinton and Schoolcraft. How about Schoolcraft? New head coach this year, and here they are in the state semifinals. I mean, that program just keeps on churning it out. And you got Clinton. I mean, Clinton's had a tough road to get here. I think that's going to be a really good matchup.
Yeah, I think, you know, I feel like a Schoolcraft, I mean, they're very multiple in what they do. And I just, you know, to have a new head coach, boy, I don't know, man. I just look at that matchup, and I think Clinton's been kind of knocking on the door for about 10 years now. I don't know. I like Clinton getting through. And I know Clinton has played for a state championship recently, but like, I don't know. For some reason, I'm picking Clinton. I can't even tell you why, but I've got Clinton. How about you?
Well, I mean, they've been one of the toughest roads to this point of any team in the state. I mean, they beat Ottawa Lake Whiteford in the first round of the playoffs. Whiteford was averaging like 55 a game, and they beat them 36-20. Then they played Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central in the district final. They got running clocked by Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central in week 1, and they turned around and beat them in the district final. And then they beat defending state champion Millington last week, 20-18. I mean, that's as tough a road as you're going to get.
I got to go with Clinton, man.
All right, D8. Like I've been saying this all year. Like the Beale City Harbor Beach winner was going to play Hudson in the championship game, and Harbor Beach beat Beale City last week in the regional final. And so now you got Harbor Beach playing Bark River-Harris at Alpena. Now Bark River-Harris's only loss this year came to Palm West Valley, and then you got Hudson going against Allen Park Cabrini. So I got Hudson Harbor Beach. Is that not going to happen?
I think it's got to be Hudson Harbor Beach. I don't even think it's. Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, Allen Park Cabrini can throw the ball a little bit. You know, I think they do a lot of things good on offense, but I think Hudsonville, you know, they just get after it a little bit offensively. They're a T team as well, and they just come right downhill at you. I mean, if Cabrini can somehow, you know, muster up some magic early and get an early lead, maybe they can hold on to it, but I just don't see that happening.
That's what we need next year. Regular non-conference game. We need Hudson versus Hudsonville. D8 versus D1.
That's hilarious, man.
So Cabrini is like the last hope for the Catholics in D8, right? Like, think about this. Detroit Catholic Central in D1, Orchard Lake St. Mary in D2, Warren de La Salle in D3, Divine Child in D4, West Catholic and Notre Dame Prep in D5, Lumen Christi in D6, D7's going to be a public school. And then D8, you got Allen Park Cabrini. You could have the Catholics, private schools, win 7 and 8 divisions. And now Cabrini would be a little bit of a long shot, but I think all the rest of them, you can make a pretty good argument. Could very like, what's going to happen if the Catholic schools win 6 state championships?
Oof. I mean, I think the Twitter and X people out there will just be going crazy. I just, you know, I don't ever see the state of Michigan going down the path of like separating public and private. They're too intertwined in what they do. And I mean, quite frankly, if you look at, you know, people that are recruiting and building teams, I mean, Belleville, right? I mean, Harper Woods, right? I mean, and openly talked about it on air. I mean, River Rouge, right? I mean, West Bloomfield when what's his name was there. I mean, they built. It's not like that they had all local kids playing there. So like sometimes I almost believe it's easier. I don't know if it's easier. I think if you have to have your administration on board, that you can build a quote unquote all-star roster at a public school just as easy as you can at a private school, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's really hard. Like, yeah, some Catholic schools have identities, right? Like Grand Rapids West Catholic. If you're a West Sider in Grand Rapids, there's like probably some tie, right? Like some family tie of going to school there. But like you look at the job that Todd Colster has to do each and every year at Catholic Central. Like I don't think that there's like some area of Grand Rapids that's like feeding Catholic Central. I know that there's a lot of legacy students, but they come from all over, right? And I think he's got to be very conscientious of his roster from year to year, and I think it's really really tough to do, and I don't think you can take anything away from him. I can't speak on Divine Child hasn't been good in a very long time. I just think that they've got a really good class. I mean, they didn't do it when they had Aiden Hutchison, right? They weren't like this, but they had a real good group of kids, the Viti brothers and cousins and the other Italians in there. Like, I mean, they're rolling. So like, I don't have any problem seeing them if they have the opportunity to win a state championship. So I've never really had a problem with it. I mean, here at Northview, we've scheduled private schools. Let's see if we can win,
Yeah, the people who are the loudest aren't going to like this, but I'm with you. I don't want to see separate divisions, but let's just keep it all together.
Yeah.
Because not all private schools are recruiting, and not all public schools aren't recruiting.
Correct.
So let's just keep it how it is.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
I like
it. By the way, that I have zero belief that they're considering separating. Like I don't think it'll happen. Even if they win 7 state titles this next weekend, I don't see it. All right, we got to get to 8-man because we got Martin and Montebello in D1, and then St. Pat's in Iron Mountain North Dickinson in D2. This is where I've done the best in my prognostication because I've said Martin all the way and I've said St. Pat's all the way, and those are my picks. I'm standing by them. Both teams are undefeated. It's a great story with Montebello. Monty Price's alma mater, and they have struggled, in 11-player, and to see them doing this, and that's right next to where you grew up. I love to see the Mustangs having the success, but I got Martin. But by the way, 8-player football, I'm sure you know this, it's points, right? Like go look at Climax Scott scores. I mean, they were scoring 70 every game. They were giving up 60 every game. Martin doesn't give up points. It's amazing. It's amazing how good they won 20-8 in their semifinal. 20-8. Okay, most 8-player scores are 54-44. Right. So it's awesome what Martin's doing, and they won the state title 2 years ago. I got Martin, and then I got St. Pat's as well. St. Pat's has been really good in 8-player, but they have not won a state championship. They've gotten there a couple times, lost to some of those really good Powers North Central teams. I got St. Pat's and Martin.
I guess another private school, right? Another Catholic school.
Another Catholic school, yeah. Could go 8 for 10.
Oh my goodness! I mean, speaking about Montebello, I mean they struggled while I was in high school, and then kind of got a little bit better, made a couple playoff appearances, and I think that at one point in time last week I was talking to a Montebello graduate, and he had said Sean Bellhorn, who actually teaches at Northview, he was saying that they were down, I think, going into the third quarter. And I think they ripped off something like 35 points in the fourth quarter. So I don't know, whatever it was. But they're playing for a state championship. And I think that's awesome. And the game's being played at the Superior Dome, correct?
Correct, yeah.
I love that, man. I love that for the kids. It's a great trip. It's a great venue to play it in. I mean, that's where that 8-man game should be played every year. And I think it's great that they do, even though they can pass other locations. I mean, I think that's awesome. And I mean, probably Martin's going to win the game, but my heart's with Montebello and their good old Montcalm and Isabella County there.
Yeah. Montebello. That's
Montcalm and Isabella County.
It's your like Georgia theory with the counties, except for it's a very small school.
Very small school.
So I guess we should mention this. We talked about Bark River-Harris playing Harbor Beach in the division. Did you see the Bark River-Harris Maple City Golden Lake finish?
I did not know.
Oh gosh. It was a crazy play. They were behind late, and they had to throw they did the laterals, and they had a 90-yard touchdown to win the game.
Do you have it somewhere?
I gotta pull it out. This is gonna take me a minute.
Really? Oh, here we go. Here we go. 8 seconds left. No. No way.
Yeah, multiple dudes had chances at him too.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they were down 21-14, so they ended up going for 2 to win it after that play, which was even clear. So yeah, now they go for 2 to win it. And then he just run the up.
They just run right off tackle on that one.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Oh, here we go. 20. So they obviously just scored to go up 21-14.
So it was a kickoff, yep. So it's a kick return is what happens here as we go to the NFHS feed.
There we go. Balls around.
So that's a design play.
Yeah, design play for sure. Backwards pass. There he goes, taking off.
But they didn't even block it. It was just like, let's throw it and hope for the best, right?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Pandemonium.
They score. I love it how the coaches say it.
They go for 2.
Put the ball on the left hash and they run it to the left.
Just power, right? More. Oh, they call timeout. Defense called timeout. I get a look at it. Same formation, same shot.
Oh. I guess the lesson there is, I mean, you got to squib kick that maybe a little bit shorter. I don't think you can squib kick it deep.
That's wild.
That is wild.
So what's going to happen in the semifinals? I guess we'll find out on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
It's going to be a good week.
Huh?
It's going to be a good week. I think it's a great slate of games.
Love semifinal Saturday. It's a great day. You got all the games on Saturday. Most of them are 1 o'clock. You got the Kansas City game at noon. You got one of the games at 12:30, and then the PW Menominee games at 2. But yeah, well, 4:30 in the afternoon, we'll have all the final matchups set.
Woo.
We'll have 2 A-player state champions.
Are you doing any games at Ford Field?
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, if Kent City wins, I will do the Kent City D6 game. Yeah. If Unity Christian wins, I will likely do the Unity Christian D4 game. I'm not doing any games on Sunday, though. I can't even go to Ford Field on Sunday. So I'll just be there on Friday.
I think that's truly unfortunate as well. And for that, Michigan State is playing on Saturday. Yeah. I just think that is a bad look.
Well, at least they're winning.
Michigan State?
Yeah, sarcasm.
Who are they playing?
Maryland. So they're at Iowa this Saturday, then they play Maryland at Ford Field on Saturday. Yeah, it's tough. I wish the high school games were on Saturday. And I honestly, as a Michigan State fan, I wish Michigan State was playing at home.
Right. I know.
They know what they must know something that I don't. So
I don't know. I just don't see the juice of being a college team saying, "Well, we're playing at Ford Field," like as opposed to at Spartan Stadium. Like
all the Detroit kids want to play at home. I don't know.
How many? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I guess please, maybe Nick Marsh wants it there.
You gotta keep him happy. I would do everything I could to keep him.
I know. Keep
win some games. That's probably the best way to keep him happy, right?
All right. So I guess here's my fingers are crossed that Cade Kaufman to Nick Marsh next year. We'll see what happens.
All right.
All right. Sounds good, man.